So what I thought I'd talk about today, since it's girl chat and everyone can just see us doing our thing in service and who we're helping, we'll talk about a couple of the meditations that we've done. So we've done Mylie first. So we've got some updates on Mylie and what she can tell us, because that was really interesting, going aboard the ship and seeing everything that she had on offer in the way of services that they do. And especially the areas too. She showed me that whole big global screen, like an avatar, and it was the Earth's constantly moving, and it showed you all different parts of Earth and where their operations were, and at every minute of the day where the ships were, and they had lights and things flashing, and they all were coded to what work they were doing and at what phase they were in. So was it complete? Were they in the middle? Were they trials or whatever? It was really, really interesting. So the meditation, we went, a whole group of us, we just went aboard, her and Commander Jojo, which I'll put in the comments later, the pictures of them. And then for YouTube, I'll put it in the video, but so you can get a visual. Jojo came out first, Commander Jojo. She met us at the bottom of the stairs or the ramp that went up into the ship. It was already there. It was cloaked. So when it uncloaked, we saw it and we went aboard. And then we went into a little kind of, it was like, you know, in the Japanese houses where they have that sort of little opening and you swap your shoes over to go into the house. We had to put these like little silky white slipper things on for the ship. And she said, because it connects with the energy in the ship and you have to take your earth shoes off. So it was really interesting. And we were all doing that. And of course, Mylie was so excited to have us because she's been working with us on such a level now for quite a while. Ever since I introduced you to her, she's been working with us all. Just because I'm channeling her doesn't mean you guys are not working with her, right? So, and you all feel like you know her. Like, you know, when we saw her, it was like, oh, we all know each other. It was kind of like a big reunion. Oh, Angel Girl's gone. Anyway, so then the next thing happened was she took me through the ship, and I'll go over my notes and then you can share what you got. So we went down this really long passageway to central operations, and there was the huge map type things on these big, like they look like perspex, but they're sort of like a clear screen. And the earth was constantly, as I said, moving, and there was all sorts of weird things happening, and lights and controls, and all the guys, all the crew and everything was sitting in there, all the tech people, and they said, hi, Mary is here, and they all stood up and went, hi. And I went, oh, how embarrassing, you know. And they all knew who I was. It was kind of weird. But it was interesting seeing all the controls working, you know. And then she said most of the small countries are complete, so they're really being cleared, their waterways and their airways, and that means a lot of the nanoparticles, a lot of the testing that's been done in the skies, viruses, that kind of thing, weather modification has been adjusted. So she said, you know, the water will start to come clearer in those smaller places, the air will feel clearer. So I'm thinking more like the islands, small countries, the big mass countries like Russia, US, Australia, and what are the other big countries, UK, Africa, they will all be sort of kind of like take a while to clear, you know. She said we're only done a third of those countries, like a third of the world, in sense of how much work's got to be done. And then she came back to me a couple of days later and she said, if you do, you can work out how much work has been done. She said, because all you need to do is go into your area code, so mine's 4013, and divide it by 3 to get the number that the work in the area has been done, because the third is a 3. So she said, do that. And I did. And it was 2 point something for this area here, not Australia, just, you know, my local area. And I thought, wow, that makes sense, because the other day when I was out at the airport, I took a picture of Brisbane and you can see the golden haze. And she said that's nanoparticles. So I'll put that photo in here too, because that's really interesting. She said you've got a lot of dust in Australia, that magic dust that they talk about, that's got all sorts of horrible nasties in it. And she said that's because it's so dry, they get away with putting that in the air. And that's why since I moved here, I've had nothing but bronchitis, cough that I just haven't been able to offload. And I said, I can't wait to get out of Australia and just clear my chest, you know, get some air into it. And so that was my sort of information I got. She said they'd been on Earth down at the military base somewhere near Florida. So I'm not sure which one that is, Val, doing a recruitment run.
Probably by me. They were flying in again today. They fly in, they're not supposed to fly in after 11 p.m. at night, but I hear them like midnight and 1 or 2 in the morning, planes coming in. So I know that they're flying in.
So
And then I sometimes see them flying out.
Well, that makes sense, because she said that they're bringing back in super soldiers, and they're bringing in soldiers that were told to step down because they wouldn't take that. And she said, so they're recruiting a certain person to come back and do that. And she said, it's worldwide. The US military isn't a separate identity anymore. The world military is one. It's actually combined as one behind the scenes. They're all working together. So anyone can join now. Just you've got to go through that base or that recruitment process there for them to do their work and bring you on board with the federations and the super soldier programs and everything like that that's happening at the moment. So she said they've been there, and that's why I couldn't understand why she said she was on the ground. We thought she might have been looking after Trump or something, but she said no, we've been doing this huge big recruitment program.
Wow.
And it's interesting you should say that, because remember when I said to you, if the ships are out, there's usually a military helicopter around, because they're the landmark, the sky mark airways to let planes know that ships are in the atmosphere. Well, last night when I was out feeding poss out here about 11:30 at night, there was a red helicopter. All I could hear it and see the red light, but there were lots of ships moving about. You know how they suddenly jar like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, yeah, it's just a marker for the ships, you know, to stop the planes from coming into that area. So that was really interesting. She said that she was telling me about the building projects and teaching that I was going to be in the future, which was really interesting, because it's all to do with New Earth and the cleanup. She said there's a lot of top secret missions going on at the moment. And she said that we're all light ambassadors. So she said, you're all like me, you're a light ambassador to Earth. And she said when you came aboard, they actually introduced us as we are the light ambassadors. Like we're considered, that's our role here on Earth. To them, we're light ambassadors. So it's really cool.
Cool.
You're on silent, Angel Girl.
Oh, is she back?
Yes, she's back. We lost her for a minute, and Denise has joined us too. Hi, Han. How are you?
I always said that I was a lighthouse
Ah, right.
and had the beam, the light beam going.
Yeah. You know how the beam goes like that for the ships to see it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really cool.
Or other angels.
Yeah, exactly. They know where to find you, right? So if anyone else wants to share about their experience with Mylie and any updates that you want to share with the collective, yell out. Who wants to go next?
I just held space. Because I'm an angel, that's not part of what I do. So I was just paying attention to everybody else and making sure that the space was safe and secure.
That's cool. I saw you though on the ships. They were showing you something. I can't remember what.
Yeah, they showed me through the ship and it was very nice, but I felt like I had been working with them earlier in the day, so it was not a big deal.
Yeah, like oh, here she is. She's coming back. She was sent
Yeah.
home. And she's back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's cool. And I felt like Mylie was like a sister connection. Did you feel that? Like she's just like a sister to us. She's just one of us. You know, it's that connection.
It didn't phase me.
Yeah.
No. She's just another girlfriend.
Yeah, just another girl, yeah, hanging out with us. And she was so excited because she said she doesn't get to interact with us. You know, if we want to go back to that space, she said, yeah, absolutely. That's why I recorded it, because then in the future, when you want to deal with Mylie or you're working in service and you've got a question about the environment or anything, you can go back to that space. She'll connect with you in that energy, you know. Because there's a lot going to be going on when we're in service and we're trying to set up our properties or our land or our workspace or whatever. We can go in and check with Mylie and say, hey, Mylie, what can you tell me about this area? Is this a good place? What's happening? What stage? Or have you cleared the water, or you know, what's going on? So she'll be really good for that sort of connection as well. She said she's going to keep updating us though, now that she's made this big connection with us.
Cool.
Beautiful.
So it might just be me channeling her, it'll be a few of you. Oh, well, that's good, Angel Girl. At least I saw you there though, I know that. So
Yeah.
I think you were doing something else on board. So we all have
I'll
to
go next. Oh,
You go.
so I went on there and I basically just took a tour of the ship. I saw lots of beings who I've never seen before. I don't know who or where they're from. I saw myself walking down a hall like in the movie Star Trek. When you see him walking on the ship, I saw myself doing that. And that's basically all I did, was just meet people and no messages, just hanging out.
Well, you most likely knew Jojo, Commander Jojo, because you are a commander. So in that energy field, you are a commander. So you probably know Jojo.
It was very low key. You know, it wasn't like a big
No, it
production
wasn't.
like,
Well, it
oh,
wasn't. No, it wasn't meant to be. It was just to connect.
oh.
Yeah.
So it felt like I was just hanging out, meeting people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it was meant to be. And that's why I thought it would be interesting to see, because you are more sort of connected to the commanders, the ones that fly. So she probably knew you already. You've probably been on that ship, many like all of us, but you've probably even sat and flown up with her. You know, you just don't know. You've probably gone through training with her.
And I just, there's so many beings there that I've like never seen, so many different types of beings just standing there looking at me. It's just,
They're going, there she is.
What
She's
is that
normally,
thing?
they're probably thinking, why are you on board? You're normally flying.
maybe I kind of felt like that because they're all just looking at me and I'm looking at them and it's like, I don't know.
Why are you down here? But usually up front flying. Well, it's interesting you say that, because remember Glenda, she saw all the animals there down in the lower levels, and she said it was like a big retreat, animal retreat. She said she saw so many different all the rescued animals down there that get, you know, lost.
I saw the big aquariums.
That's right, you did too.
Yeah.
Were
It
the
just
whales there?
dinged on me. Huh?
Were the whales in there?
I think they were too big. I saw like fish. They were like medium fish though. Yeah. I think they had two great big giant aquariums. So
I've
Yeah.
never seen it, so you were lucky to see that, because I've only seen the
it
animals
was down in the bottom too.
It is. You go down a lift. They take you down a lift, and it's down in the lower areas of the ship, and they have. It's like it's like outside. You've got trees and it looks like you've got even a sky. And I saw, that's when I saw Poss on board one of those ships. I think it was Commander Usher's.
Right.
And
Okay.
I mean, Glenda said she saw tigers, I think, or lions and all sorts of things. So, and zebras. And so it's all the animals that get rescued. They go there and get healing and they get looked after. I don't know if they come back or they stay there or how it works, but it's just like you got to remember these ships are enormous. They're like sizes of cities and bigger. So I guess it's like a big wildlife park down there, and they're all out in the open. They're not up behind cages or anything. That's what's so beautiful about it, because it's a different dimension, so they can all just be there freely how they should be all along, not fighting and attacking each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
I forgot about that. Wow. Yeah. So that's what Glenda saw, because she's going to be working. Remember, she had that all activated, that she's going to be working with the animals, which is really exciting.
Is that why she saw so many animals? Because that's what she's going to be doing?
Yeah. Oh, you weren't on the call, were you?
No.
No. So she started already her animal service business, which is a service to the animals that need to be looked after, especially if their owners have to go to hospital, or, you know, they need to be taken into the hospital, because a lot of hospitals now let you have your animals and that there, you know. So she's going to be doing a sort of a little mini care services. And yeah, they took her down, introduced her to all the rescued animals and how they're looking, and it was beautiful what she saw, and how they've activated her role. And they told her exactly how it's going to look. They're sort of going into the home of elderly people, helping them with their animals, especially if they've got those little white fluffy dogs that need clipping, or, you know, you've got to try and get them to the groomer and they can't get out because they're on a walker or something. This is where she'll be able to step in and provide that service.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, good one, Angel Girl, about that. That was good. Anyone else want to share? Thanks, Dana.
We're good.
We're good.
Good.
I can't remember what else we
Moving on.
saw. I'm trying to think what the others saw. I think Teresa saw the animals, and about Noah's retreat. She's going to have Noah's retreat, and she got told about the land. Remember, she was told about the land.
Across the street.
Yeah, the land across the street and the blue crystal water from under earth coming up. She was told about
That's right.
that, and about growing her own herbal remedies and being able to help with the animals in that way. So providing them with the medical care they need, but in the herbal side of things. So that was really interesting, because that confirmed her service in that way. And they said that it will be ready for her by then. And I think we worked out with her area code that she was pretty clear down there. She was at about 6%. So
Yeah.
it's looking pretty good for her to get into service fully, in that sense of having the clear waterways and air. So did you do it, Val? Did you do the Mylie meditation?
No, I missed it. It was too early, too late for me.
I wonder what it's going to be like when I'm in the States and you guys all have to attend. I'm going to have to try and work out how that's going to work for New Zealand and Australia. I'll be tested. So that brings me to the next thing. There's no questions. Is there any questions on Facebook? I can't see anyone on. So it might be my settings. Next, we did the Salem witch trials, and I'll give a little bit of background on that, and then you guys can share your experiences. So Jeanette in the group, who's been on some of these calls with us, she went to Salem and she posted some photos and it really triggered me. And I was like, oh my God, I know that place. I've been there before. What's going on? Why am I seeing this? And it was so dark and spooky and horrible. And I said, we've got to fix this. And then I got these downloads about the witches. The witches weren't witches. They were the light workers coming early to show people that there is a medicine available in, you know, plant-based and herbalism and essences and all that, and massage and therapies and things. And so that town was full of deep state darkness, and it was run by Masons, and they had all these beautiful light workers killed, of course. And initially in Wikipedia, it says there was only 19 hung. Well, of course, we found out there were thousands and thousands hung and killed and slaughtered and sacrificed, including many, many, many children. And so we had to go and correct it so that for when we go into our service roles, that energy has been lifted and they are free, because they were not free. They were pulled aside and taken. They were sacrificed purely for this time now on New Earth, really, to make way for us. And what else we discovered was that they were using that to run money, like they're doing all sorts of dark stuff. There was a lot of real bad energy in the town. And so the town itself needed to be cleared because it's surrounded by forests and it's got beautiful elementals. It's got Sasquatch and many other dragons and things. So it's a really spiritual place, and it is going to be a very beautiful place. So then I was getting all these downloads that it's got one of the main portals on the compass of Earth to New Earth. So they knew it had a very powerful light energy and a very powerful portal that they didn't want us to know. So they created this situation with the witches to stop people from going there, because they knew the energy there was incredible, and we felt it when we were there in meditation. It was just like out of this world. It was, we were all like vibrating with it. So I got the guidance to create the space and go back and correct it. And boy, did we correct it. We had some beautiful stories to share, because we had to go back into the town hall, the old town hall that was there originally. So I had to do some research and go back and look at the actual town, because I didn't even know what it looked like. And I have to say, it's a very pretty, sort of very colonial. It's got a real English feel to it, colonial English town. So they said where the museum is now, the Salem Witch Museum, was the old town hall. And it's even got the Masons, like a M, like McDonald's sign. So it's pretty obvious. And so we had to go in there and correct everything. So does anyone want to share what happened to them and how it looked? Because we've got some incredible stories about clearing that energy.
I'll share mine.
Okay.
Just because when I went out on the main street and there was someone who had their arm around my arm, and I still think it was you, Nancy, just because you helped me earlier in the day. And as we were walking down the street, there was like thousands and thousands of kids that just bombarded us. And they were just so happy to see us. And we got down on our knees and gave them hugs. And then after that, I was in the forest with some other people, and they were cooking something in this big pot, black pot. And I was just sitting around being social with everybody. That's my story.
Wow. And did you see the Sasquatch or the dragons?
No, I just saw kids, and I saw a teenager, like 13. He had curly hair, and I saw another little boy with black hair besides the thousands of children that we saw, and just adults in the forest sitting around that big black cauldron cooking something.
Wow. And well, they were probably living in the forest at that time too, to run away, to hide.
Yeah, because it felt like we were just hanging out visiting,
Yeah, and they were probably hiding there from the because you know, they were after them. The children as well, because the children were like light workers, like New Earth children are now. They were like that back then. So they had, you got to remember, this is reptilian energy after their DNA. They hijacked their DNA. That's why they wanted their blood, because the light workers, they live off that. Gives them life, gives them energy, gives them power.
Right.
And it
They
was-
knew what they were doing.
yeah, it's really
Yeah.
dark place, really dark. So I'm glad you confirmed the children, because that's where they might have hid them, in the forest. So they didn't get caught. A lot of them did, as we know. We saw thousands of them that had been taken. So, you know,
It was
it's,
just overpowering all the kids that we saw. It was just like, wow. Never seen so many
Yeah.
kids so happy to see us.
and you see, I didn't see the children. I saw all the victims, because you've got to remember, this is another thing that I forgot to mention, was that it was the 1600s. It was 1625 to 1627, if I remember rightly. And I said, vision and look at yourself to see how you look when you were back there, because we know we were all part of it. And I saw myself in a sort of a brownie, boring looking fabric skirt down to my feet, because you didn't have much color back then in fabrics. And I had a cream sort of old fashioned blouse and my hair up in a bun, and I was a brunette. But I saw all the victims, all the adult victims, the women especially. And they were all down one side of the hall, and they were waiting to be freed. And they said, thank you for coming back, because you need to free us. You need to get this truth out, you know. And then down the other side of the hall were the cabal, the deep state, the lawyers, the doctors, the tax men, everyone that was after them, the government. And so they were all down there. And Denise and her friend Chazza had them sort of up against the wall saying, karma's going to be a bitch, guys. We've got you now, kind of thing. You know, you're going to sit here and watch this. You know, it was so funny. It was like, I was scared of them. They were like gladiators standing there like, you're not going. And these cabal members were like freaking out, man. But anyway, so in the middle of the hall where all us light workers were, the light ball and the flames and everything, we were building up this energy. It was incredible, and it was so powerful. And we were just lifting the vibration of the place and the energy, and we're going, bring in the light, bring in the light. And we were freeing them, saying, you're free now, you're free, you can be who you are able to, because that's us back then. So we can now work our truth and be who we really are without being silenced. And we're taking our power back. I said, you have the power. You know, you could see these women, they were sobbing. They were like, oh, you know, we're free again. We can be who we truly are. And those guys down the other side were like shitting bricks, more or less, you know, because they knew their day had come, you know. And we were powerful. They didn't realize how powerful we was when we went in there and we were showing them this power of light. So, and we were all working on it big time. So we cleared that. And I just feel now I kind of have to go back and plant some crystals and, you know, get the energy going again. So I feel like we need to touch the ground there with our feet.
Yeah, totally.
We'll do that. Yeah.
But yeah, Denise, you were scary. You were powerful. You're a powerful being in that space.
It's funny, just getting off the subject slightly, one of those videos you posted yesterday with that woman coming out in Queensland with her 8 children. Wow. That resonated with me so much. In my early childhood, I actually perforated my eardrum, coughing with a cold symptoms. I do believe I had was visited in my bedroom one night, or near visited. I saw the ship. It was outside my window. This massive orange light came into my room, like it was like X-ray light. It just lit up the whole room, and then I heard all this humming, and then it disappeared. But all through that particular video, I was just, it was resonating with me 100%. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And
That
I
was,
was
that
just,
happened to you. And you know, Western Australia was known for that. There was a lot of people from the desert. So you've got your desert in the middle and then coming
Yeah.
out to Western Australia. That whole area was visited by ships. And I can tell you some stories because I used to work for the oil and gas companies that went out and worked out there, and they used to look up at the skies at night, the crews, and they see some weird stuff happening out there in the skies.
oh, totally, totally. But yeah, this woman, but the power that she now has and the things that she can do, I just felt that
Well, that's you and that's
I felt,
literature.
I
Yeah,
felt and knew that I had so much more power than I could ever imagine. And I'm thinking, you're kidding me, because I'm just coming online with a lot of stuff. I feel like I'm a little bit behind, or you guys even, but I'm thinking, holy smoke, my whole body was just bzzz. I'm thinking, wow. And then when you say the warriors that we were in that, I just have to laugh. Oh my goodness.
but that's how you were. I was so scared of you then at that time. I was like, "Far out, look at her and chicks ago. No wonder they're together. They're a powerhouse together, you know." Whoa.
It's so funny.
So that's
Yeah.
where you've got it from, those visitations. They've probably been taking you aboard, you see, and you're getting your memory back. You can do your memory activation and get that back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been doing them, all of them. I've probably done them
That's
100
why
times.
you've probably gone overdosed
Oh gosh.
because you
Yeah.
don't remember much about the whole. What did you do in the meditation? I don't remember.
In Mylie's,
Yeah.
when I
No,
was
and the Salem one.
oh, the Salem one. Yes, I remember going in, and it was all sort of like, it wasn't dark or grey. It was like fawny, tanny, but it was just all foggy. I could feel all the energy, and see little pieces and movements and stuff, but I didn't feel or see anything, I should say. My sight's still coming, I think.
Yeah, but you sensed it. You knew what was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's all been about from my heart and just knowing and feeling and that it's weird. Well, it's not weird.
That's what I tell people. For people that are listening to this that are struggling with meditation, you don't have to have visuals. Just being
No.
in that space, you're picking up the energy, the vibration, and you'll be able to use that energy wherever you go. You're taking it with you. You've been.
I think it's just our human experience. We expect to see and we want
visuals.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've always been a very visual person. I learn visually and by writing everything. Watching people do things, and I'll write down steps, and that's me. I take it in that way more so than learning just textbook. I can't do that. It
Yeah.
drives me.
Chaz is online. She's listening now. Hi, everyone. Just cruising in while I have a couple of minutes. Love you, my Denise. I feel emotionally drained and sad today. I'll come right. My mind is still with the lost children. Oh, she's struggling with that because she's just learned about it all. But you know what?
Yeah.
We all went through that. It's like a type of grief. That's
It
what
is.
I was thinking about it last night. We all went through that grieving because we blame ourselves because we didn't know about it.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
so we grieve for them. Oh, that's good. Okay, so thanks for that. So Val, Val had a different experience. You went to the forest, didn't you?
Well, I remember walking into the town. We walked up to the town hall and walked into there, and I basically was holding space. I connected with the heart of Mother Gaia and with Source, and I brought in the dragons came in, the phoenix came in,
That's
and I
right.
could feel the surge of power and light that filled that room with all of us putting forth, our eternal love and light into it to free not only ourselves, but the children, and to clear that space. And then I ended up in the forest. There was a portal there. There was also, I believe, a portal where they were burning us and hanging us.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
portal there.
I forgot you
There was
told
a
us that.
portal in the water.
Oh, that's right, where we came
That's
in on the
right.
ship. That's right, we realized that was another
Mhm.
portal, which probably is a submarine base under there now, you realize, guys.
Mm.
And then when we finished our work, we were all so huge. We were just supersized, walking back through the town, and just, it was lighting up as we walked through, clearing all of the negative energies and the evil stuff that had gone on. And we all walked down the street arm in arm. We were singing too, but I don't remember what we were singing. Maybe we were humming, tuning. And
God, I can't sing for the life of me. I hope I was okay, because my family always used to
We
say,
are the champions.
oh, were we? Oh, wow.
That's what we were singing.
Yep.
oh, were we?
That just came up. Yeah. We were singing,
Well,
we
I
are the
just
champions
remembered
of the
that
world.
we were singing too, as we were walking through the town, and it was
Yeah.
lighting up. So,
Wow.
I got goosebumps just now.
Oh,
Sure.
wow.
You're powerful.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Because that's the Queen song, isn't it? That's
Yep.
We Are the Champions
Yeah.
of the World.
Queen.
Yeah. Wow. And of course, he faked his death. He's still alive too.
Oh, I'm so glad. I was only thinking about that yesterday. I'm thinking, oh, Freddie Mercury, surely not.
I love Freddie Mercury, but the thing
Oh.
is, he faked it because, and I know he did, because he was in with, who was it? You know when he went to Germany, and they said that he had all those drug problems, and that's where he got the illness and everything. Well, he was helping with those portals and the children over there.
Wow.
Remember,
Beautiful.
Germany's got all those dark portals. Well, and they said he went off and did some songwriting and stuff. It was all another, distraction kind of thing. Like they did with Michael Jackson, they played him down and said that he was sick and weak and frail and was, doing things. It's because they're always doing missions or away helping. And then they said that they never ever had a death burial site for Freddie Mercury. He's never been buried. He's never had his ashes sprinkled or anything. So he's still alive, like they did with Elvis's grave. They spelt it incorrectly, purposely.
Beautiful.
So he's
Well.
alive. So he's another one we'll see come out. I forgot to tell you that.
Awesome.
Sharon's got to go. She's on nanny duties.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's good, Val, because see how this triggers us too for what we forgot. And do you remember as we came into the town, because we came in, for those that don't know, we came in, the way we described it was we came in through the sailing ship with the old canvas sails and everything, and we had to get off, and it was all dark and eerie and spooky, and it even had that horrible smell of rotting flesh, and it was just horrible. But as we walked back through the town, everything just went to light, everything lit up. As we went back, I've got goosebumps now, and we got onto the ship and everything just came, and they said, it's happened, you've lifted it, you've been successful, the mission has been successful. It was like,
Beautiful.
wow, we've changed it, it's now, and I'm going to be interested to watch that town to see what happens over the coming weeks. But then didn't Jeanette say there was an earthquake down in Peru straight afterwards?
Chile.
Joy. So
San Antonio, I believe it was down in that area.
well, that's
Which is
interesting because
on the
that's all.
coast.
Yeah, well, that's all ley line up to Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, because Salem's just on that water's edge, up a bit from Massachusetts, and then that comes down into south, down that way. And so that would have been us changing the energy for New Earth, and that's why you get the earthquakes. And it happened within minutes. In fact, while we were still on the call, Jeanette or
Yeah.
whoever picked up the phone and said, "There's been an earthquake."
Yep. totally. Beautiful.
So mission accomplished there. Did you want to share about Mylie, hon, before we go on to Albert? Denise?
Oh, Mylie. Yeah, no, I didn't get a lot. I remember getting up on the ship and getting in with everybody, and we were so happy and excited. And then we went, I felt myself going down this long corridor. I think it was like yellowy colours, yellow lemony colours. But yeah, I don't remember much after that. I think I was in there for healings. Yeah, getting healings. I just felt the energy and the buzz of everybody, and then coming out, everyone was so excited, and Mylie was jumping for joy. It was just beautiful.
She was excited to have us on board finally and be able to connect with us. She needed to be introduced because she's been working with you in different dimensions.
Yeah.
I
It was
channeled her.
wonderful because so many mornings I've woken up and I've just been so drained and exhausted, and it's taken me an hour or two to get motivated or get going, and I'm thinking, but then, being on the ship, you can understand why. There's just so much work to be done. It's just, so much that we do.
When she said there's only a third of the world clearing that's been done, and we're talking environment, not other things, and it makes you realize just what a big job they have and how many ships are out there. Because when I saw that screen, and it wasn't a flat map like when we see a visual of the map of the earth and it's flat, it was actually a moving 3-dimensional thing like on Avatar. And she said, you look at how big this is and how many ships we've got out there. She was showing me. She says, I don't think people realize just how big the project is to clean Earth and rid, centuries of pollution and crap in the air. And it's a big undertaking, but we're part of it. We're doing it in our other dimensions. We're working with her. And that's why I obviously started channeling her, because as a collective, many of us are working with those groups of people.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's really exciting for us to be able to do that and connect anytime. For those that are listening, I do have all these meditations recorded if you want a copy to do them. So,
I'd like to talk about the witches.
Yeah.
I was in the cemetery for some reason. I didn't go to the courthouse, but now I know why. It's because when I first got married, I used to walk the cemeteries with my husband. Never put a clue to it. Well, we're angels. So, and I talk to them, but we go and save the ones that don't know that they're dead and bring them home.
Oh, beautiful.
So what happened is I was in the cemetery and Nubia was there, and Nubia made a portal, and then I motioned them to the portal and helped them go through.
You crossed them over.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
And that's how we did it.
So you rescued,
and then we
all
met
the
up
lost
with
souls.
everybody back at the courthouse.
So you rescued all the lost souls. So there would have been a lot of supernatural stuffs happening in Salem.
Lots of children that were 2 and 3 years old. I mean, and they all come running out of nowhere.
Wow.
Just so many people there. And it was not only women and children, there were men there also.
Oh yeah.
Probably who got in the way.
The husbands got taken because they were protecting the wives, which were which were the medicine women, which were witches supposedly. And they would take the children as well. So they wanted the blood of the children more than anything else.
Yeah.
But do you know what really surprises me about it all? Well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised, but it will surprise many of you how they only ever said 19. If you go and look it up on Google, they're only saying there was 19 in the whole trial. Hello, how many of us were in the meditation that saw thousands? And that's why it needed to be fixed. It needed to be corrected.
Our whole history is fake. Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Um,
It
makes
wasn't just
wonder
the
about a lot
people
of
there
other.
in Salem.
what was-
Huh?
It was not just the people in Salem. They actually brought other people in from other towns and murdered them.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, didn't you say you remembered a past life being in one of those neighboring towns, Val?
Yeah, I was a medicine person who I was hung and then I was burned. They figured I hadn't died, I guess, when they hung me, so they decided to burn me on top of everything else. So yes, I remember.
And this
And
is
I was not in Salem. I was an outside township of Salem.
Wow.
well, there's a lot of forests and country towns out there, right? So they would have been able to just walk into them and take them, like, you know,
So they
Yeah.
just clean the area.
yeah.
Wow.
Talking about that, Val, the hanging, you just reminded me. A lot of us are clearing from that. Like we've got sore throats, sore necks, sore shoulders, because we were hung. And this is why we're all feeling a bit nasally, a bit congested, because it's in our energy field. We had to clear that for us to be able to go ahead and do our service. And so all those things that were done to us back then is now being cleared. And Val was saying she's got a sore throat. I've had a sore throat. I've also had sinus. And it's because we were hung. We're having to let go of that energy. We had to release it. And so it takes 21 days to integrate and clear anything or bring anything into your energy field and settle. Like I say, we always do our activations for 3 weeks because it takes 21 days. So we're
Thank you
still
for that.
clearing all of that. We're clearing a lot of stuff from that Salem time.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I had to do a lot of work on my neck last night, and I'm thinking, what the heck's wrong with my neck? I haven't had problems with my neck for a few months, and I'm thinking, wow. So I was just going for about half an hour, and I'm thinking,
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. There's a lot of light workers out there that were with us in that time that aren't in our collective group that have probably got sore necks and sore throats and funny heads and that at the moment because we cleared that energy, and I'm probably wondering why they've got sore throats and things. So
Yeah.
for those that are listening, that's why we can help you there. I just want to quickly mention that we did do a 12-12 portal meditation for our service role to be totally activated. We're not going to talk about it because it's our own personal service journey. But I do want to say that with the 12-12 portal service, all light workers or beings of some form that are here to help with this whole awakening a new earth, you're going through an initiation of service. So we actually went to the moon and got initiated. I got a badge and we were taken into our full service role. So from 12-12 portal, a lot of you are now shifting into that service role. So your consciousness is changing from the enslavement of work and going into heart consciousness for service. So that was from 12-12. So you start to notice big changes in your environment and your work, the way you think, the way you carry out your work, because you're going from enslaved work and fear of paying things to providing service and working with source. So you'll notice over the next 3 weeks up to 22-12, a big, huge conscious shift within yourself. So expect headaches because consciousness brings in the crown activation, but you also have a heart activation. So a lot of you get indigestion with that, heartburn, heartburn, that kind
Yeah, totally.
of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
as you mentioned that, I went, why do I have heartburn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I've been on the ginger and peppermint tea.
Yeah, I've got my ginger now.
Yeah.
I keep getting hiccups.
Yeah.
You're not breathing.
And not sleeping. Absolutely. We're not sleeping because our consciousness is shifting. We won't need much sleep in the new earth. But we won't, they're all quite personal, beautiful stories. And we had our team of lights with us. So we all have our own separate team of lights. And of course, I had the ones that you've all been introduced to, Usher and Master Orbit and that. But it was beautiful. It was very emotional because it was our celebration after arriving here for this final purpose of what we're here to do. Yes, we've been on missions, clearing Earth, doing the whole new Earth and waking people up. But now that we're shifting into new Earth, we have to go into our service roles. And so it was a huge emotional sort of breakthrough celebration for us. So for those that are wondering why you're feeling a bit different after 12/12 portal, that's what that's all about. So as you all know, my arrival day here on Earth is Christmas Day, and I don't celebrate it, and I don't celebrate birthdays either. So, but I wanted to give back to all of you who support me, and I really feel that without your support and me being able to do what I do, that helps me with my ascension. So I'm growing alongside of you. Remember that. So I thought, well, I'm going to do something really nice for you guys with the meditation space. Well, how better a gift can I give you? So I introduced you all to my beautiful Albert from the waterways, my Sasquatch that I channel. So we did a meditation yesterday. We went and met Albert at the waterways, and we met his partner, who is Sousa, and his baby that was named after me, Amelia. And I actually got introduced for the first time to his two sons, and he was joking around with me, and he said, oh, they're Tom and Jerry. He says, no, they're actually Tom and Jackson. So, all right, okay. And I don't know why, but he was just telling me that. And he was telling me about my team of light and how we're all connected and everything. It was so beautiful. We all felt so safe there, and it was just amazing, the energy. And I took them like in my car, like I was driving to the waterways. We went to the waterways, like how many lives and that do I do from there? And Susan gave us a dish, and I still haven't looked it up, but they're called galberries. GALBERRIES. So I need to look them up to see what they are. She said they're good for your blood. So they must have iron content in them.
Wow.
The
Indigenous would know.
Yeah, they would. Absolutely. This is the, yeah, that's right. And they told me that, and they showed me Amelia walking now, and she was walking and she's eating berries. Because the last time I saw her, she was just like a newborn baby. And we're all connected to the Sasquatch community. They are connected to the earth like the tree roots are. You know how they communicate the trees through their roots to all the other trees around earth. So do the Sasquatch. So if they need to get a message through to, say, Ernie Jack, who I've channeled, or Henry, they do it through the earth, it's their grounding that they have. It's their special energy that they have. They connect through the earth, they send the message out, and it gets replied, which I didn't know how they communicated because they don't have phones or anything. So they told me that. They said my next phase in life was going to be so much happier, like never before. They said you're going to do some great things with rebuilding, and we will always be connected in this space. Even though you don't come physically, you can meet me in this space and communicate. And they said that the Sasquatch community around us is going to always connect with us and keep us safe and secure wherever we are in the world. So that was really beautiful. So if you want to share your stories about finally meeting Albert, go ahead. Who wants to go? Did you do it, Val? Yeah, you did, but you fell asleep.
Probably. But it was interesting because I had felt the Sasquatch around my house for the last week and a half before we did that meditation.
Yeah.
And whenever I went into the parks that we go to, the pups and I could feel them around. So, yeah.
And see, some of them are really tall, like Albert. He's like 7 foot tall. He's huge. Like I only come up to his belly button. And then Susan's quite small. She's quite tiny and petite in comparison. She's like 5'6", 5'7", somewhere. She's taller than me, but she's small as a Sasquatch. She's quite tiny and petite. So you get all different sizes and width. But Albert, he's just like a big cuddly teddy bear, you know. It's
Are
beautiful.
they different colors too? Because I keep
Yeah.
getting like light brown, a cream, black.
Yeah, Albert and Susan are the black ones. But there are, depending on where, I think Ernie Jack was more brown because he's from up in the Vancouver, Victoria Island forest. So he had a different color. He was more, because when I saw him, he was a goldy brown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. so that
He
was-
said I was bright like a crystal
well, you are.
and that I shine my light very brightly.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh,
It was very sweet.
he's beautiful. And you feel so, he feels like a big cuddly teddy bear, like a grandfather figure, you know, like someone you can just go out and cuddle and trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
You saw a myriad, didn't you, Angel Girl?
Yes, I did. Yes, I talked to all three, to Henry, to Ernie Jack, and to Albert.
I don't remember
Yeah.
you seeing Henry. What did Henry tell you? Because he's,
Huh?
I don't, oh, yes, you did. That's right. Because Henry's shy. He's really, really shy, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's the one who's closer to Vancouver, I
Ah,
thought. Yeah, because I was telling him that I had a friend in Washington State, and it's full of the Sasquatch up there. So
yeah. Yeah, because he's only just
but I
started.
got to
kicking.
play with the baby, and she's walking around, and she's so cute. Yeah,
So sweet.
so
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised when they brought her up and she was walking. I was like, oh my goodness, she's walking. Last time I saw you, you were just a little baby in their
the
arms.
new ones will walk early.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting. Well, that's interesting because when I saw her when she was in their arms, I thought, oh, you're smart, you're really bright, you're going to be a really special
Mhm.
Sasquatch down there. So, and then when I saw her walking, I was like, well, wow, you know, she looked like 2 years old. She obviously had grown from within a year from being a little newborn to a 2-year-old. Did you feel like she was about 2 years old?
Yeah.
Toddler
Well, a little earlier,
Yeah.
almost. Yeah.
So they
But
advanced.
most of them, they're walking by a year old or earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's really smart. She runs her brothers around. So that was really cute.
And you can.
That's what the babies are supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, she's a lovely girl, remember? But I remember
Yep.
you confirming the pink ribbon I used to see down there. Remember? when I
Oh
was-
yeah, pink
used to
ribbon
have-
in her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to walk around there and I used to do my lives and I said, there's a pink ribbon in the trees. Look, and they were telling me that they had a celebration. And it was about 2 times after that, they said they're having a baby and it was a little girl and they were going to name it after me because they were grateful for my visits and me recognizing them. And it wasn't until I got to know them, they said they were going to call her Amelia. So then I had to go to the naming ceremony and sit down there on the log and do
Well,
the,
of course.
and there was a pink ribbon there again and the trees that time. So that was beautiful. Did you do it, Dana? Hun?
I've had a headache all day, so I haven't had a
Oh,
chance.
you haven't done
to.
it yet. Okay, because we only did it yesterday. So
Yeah, I've had a headache and just nothing's working.
it's a very it's a very
on.
easy, laid back one. We all get in the car and we just my little car out here outside the gate. I'd take you, like I say, on the left. I was a real tour guide, wasn't I, guys? I was going on the left and on the right here. So you could envision what I see when I get down there. So you get into that energy, into that space. I'll go down and do a live this weekend so you get a more of a feel for it again. Now because you felt the energy and you always feel it when I'm on the live and you see the fairies and the dragons and that, so what about you, Denise? You're on silent, hon.
I was just thinking as you were talking about that, I might go for that walk down Tomato Lake this afternoon and have a feel and just take a little video to show you. Just wondering maybe if we can set up a Zoom for Saturday morning.
Yep, can do that. No problem at all. I'll do
Maybe if we do it then, because it's getting so close to Christmas, we're all getting busier. And I just have this urgency within me. And
yeah,
I think,
to do it. We have to clear it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your morning, you're 3 hours behind me, aren't you, or 2?
so if we do
3.
10 o'clock here, it'll be 11, 12 your time.
yeah.
Is that,
Yeah,
is
same
that
time as
too-
now. Yep, that's good.
yeah, is that
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
So
Wait a
10
minute.
here, so 12 there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Val, what was that?
I said, wait a minute. So what time would it be for us in US?
Be 9 p.m.
Middle of the night again?
9 p.m.
It'll be a
Oh.
bit earlier, Val.
Okay, thank you.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
Yeah, it'll be 9 p.m. your time. So
Okay,
it'll be, so if we do it our Saturday, it'll be your Friday night.
Yes,
Um,
alrighty.
and what did you see, Denise?
I got to, I sat down, I think on the log behind you guys, and yeah, I was talking to Albert, but I was telling him about my worms and what I've been doing here, and that I'd probably need a unit of some sort. I was just thinking in my head what I think I need to
Yeah.
go forward if that was my service at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm not really sure. I feel much like Angel Girl. I have so many different talents. I'm really not sure what I'll be doing for this time.
Well,
But
continue doing that service activation for 1212 portal, because by the 22nd, when we go into that conscious shift, you'll have a clearer,
yeah, definitely, yeah. So, but yeah, I've always been a woman of many projects, as my other half will tell you. Last year I went into breeding Siamese fighting fish, and I had one pair, and apparently they're very hard to breed here in Australia, the temperatures, blah 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 blah. So I bred them, and I ended up with over 200, nearly 250 babies.
They were
And
very
then-
fertile.
As they grow up, you've got to put them in all little individual plastic pots, and then of course every day was 3 hours changing their waters for 3 months.
What a mission.
So I don't do anything by halves.
No.
Never ever by halves.
Look at that.
Over and above.
And that was for fish, but they have a soul, they have a spirit, so we
Exactly,
have to honor that.
but-
We do have to honor that.
Maybe that was
Yeah,
the
I
moon
had-
coming out in me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've
yeah, I
always
had
had
a-
with water, with animals, with wildlife. Yeah.
Well, that's what you'll probably be doing as well. A lot of us as light beings will be working with animals or children. That's just seems to be the calling right now. The adults that'll be the Orions will be the ones that will be setting things up for us, will be the builders, the workers coming in to make things happen. So, because the Orions will bring in the knowledge and the wisdom from the scrolls, and then we'll be the ones coming in underneath, rebuilding the earth in many ways, being very, very creative as well. And using our past, you think how many past lives we've had that we can call upon to bring forward to our service roles. There's going to be so much coming out in the new earth, and it's like those ones,
I just get glimpses all the time of things that I've done in this lifetime, but obviously it was from other realms. But wow, I've been here many a time.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. And sometimes I get that feeling, I've done this before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I get that
Bring
feeling.
it with you.
Deja
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Yep.
Days
Oh,
continually.
lordy, lordy. Val, how did you go, hun?
With,
Sasquatch.
fell asleep.
No, but did you see anything? Because you said you in your sleep state you saw you did see them. You felt like you saw Alba.
Yes, I did. But they were like, they weren't close. I didn't have,
Hello.
Oh, and
Oh,
you will just drop the phone.
okay.
Yeah, I'm dying. Sorry.
That's right,
No
huh?
problem.
We'll call it, we'll blame
Okay,
we'll blame the energy.
yeah, there you go. I wanted to go back and tell, because Denise talked about her Siamese fighting fish. I had a beta fish.
Yeah.
I had 7 beta fish, females, all in one tank, and they say you can't do that. Well, I did, and they all were fine, but eventually I lost one by one, and then I had one that was left, and I called her Blue, and I learned so much from that fish.
Yes.
You would never think that you could learn something from a fish. And
Oh,
she
yeah.
was amazing. She really was. So,
Wow.
Had blue ones, I had white ones, I had gold ones, I had red ones. In the end, because I bought different ones to start breeding, but after breeding that one pair, I thought, no
And they
way.
all, I bet you they all represent the energy of the chakras, their colors.
Oh, there you
You know?
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I bet you they do, you know.
Yeah.
It's interesting, that's for sure. Well, we'll finish here today. We've got other things to talk about. We'll do another one either this side of Christmas or New Year. We're getting busy now. For those that were wondering what we were talking about earlier about Denise doing something on Saturday, she's going to activate the water at the local park and the land around there to help Australia clear. Because what was it? The fish were dying? Or what was the story about that stagnant water?
It used to be it's apparently there's an artesian bore underneath, and it's always, when I was a kid, it was always beautiful water. We have a lot of ibis and a lot of old trees in there that they all come and nest on in the island in the middle of it. But the water now is very rancid. It's getting algae all over it. It smells. I'm 2-3 streets away, and sometimes when the breeze is in the right way, you can smell, and the mosquitoes, and they come over and spray it now for the mosquitoes. And it's a beautiful park. It has its own cafe and that there. So many people go, but this water is just dying. And I feel every time I go. And the last time I went there a few weeks ago with Shaz, we walked around with her grandchildren, and there was this tiny little spot very close on the water's edge that was like it was like we used to play in when we were kids, like fairy, a ring of these little trees, and there was a hollow in the middle, and I just felt the energy straight away, and I thought, I've got to come back here. And when we started doing these other activations, missions and stuff, I thought, no, we have to get back there. So
well, it's connected. Now, remember our meeting with Greg, the ley line through Australia. So you're
yes,
there, so you're connecting that line. And then when I go down to New Zealand, I will connect that with that and go up through Indonesia. So we'll do that whole clearing. So Australia will be cleared. So it'll be like that. If you can imagine coming across and then down. And then when I go up to New York, it'll be up that way. So we'll be clearing that shape. And then up to New York, we'll do a clearing up there. So, and I'll do big clearings wherever I am, like Teresa's land. I'll do, I want to do Sherry's Lake. That's really
yes, definitely.
I've always felt I've got to be there to clear that because that's got the Syrian base under it. So it's where the ships and that are based.
Beautiful. Yeah. So that'll be lovely. Yeah,
Mm.
I'll take a walk down there today and have a little video and I'll send it to you and we can
Good.
set up Saturday.
Yeah, because then we can do it as a practice run too for all these
Okay.
bigger ones that we're doing. We're getting better and better and better. And this is, I'm talking about in the physical, not in the meditation space. I'm talking about us now starting to go more shifting into the physical space, because when you come with me to New Zealand, we're going to be doing the same in New Zealand. So you're getting a good practice from being there doing that this week.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
We go down and do it in New Zealand, and then I join up with the girls in the US and we do it in the US. So, you know, and we'll do everything live. So we'll connect live so that you can be all part of it and hold the space and do the land activations. Get your soul messages, take that down, because that's got all those land activations, the elementals one, and a couple of others. I'll tell you which ones we'll do. And then that way, you know, we're getting good at this and we can help New Earth form and be, you know, escape the chains that it's had on it and the control, especially Australia. You know, it's been under dark force. So, all right,
Beautiful.
guys. Well, I'll stop the recording here and then we'll have a quick chat afterwards. Thank you for attending, guys. Thank you for who's watching YouTube or Facebook. Really, really appreciate you being part of it. Sorry, I can't see the comments on Facebook. If there is, we'll join you later and fill them in. But I just want to